So one is being an international student has actually been a crazy experience because I thought that I'm at a disadvantage because I basically didn't have any experience. My English was my second language, and so among Canadians, this is where I went to university, nobody would want to hire me. What I decided to do is start building as much of an experience as possible by just trying out everything from volunteering in any kind of organization within university and outside as much as possible. Because one, I couldn't actually find a job, and two, I just needed to build my resume with anything that I could find. As I did that, I started getting more and more connected with people who were also volunteering. And eventually, I met a lot of people, and even though I was a student, they all needed some extra help and were willing to give me a job. I remember my first real kind of office job while I was in second year of university was selling furniture online. As weeks progressed, I actually got better and better at talking, and I felt very confident about my speaking ability. And because it was also I needed to follow up by email, that led me to actually become pretty good at the written English as well. And I really quickly learned what works when you word something in the email versus when it's like too much. And the business lingo actually started for me very early on, alongside the essays for university, but that was the real thing. And within that job, they offered me to try marketing because they needed HTML, and that's something to do with computer science. So they gave me the opportunity to just build the website for them. So within that circle, I kept jumping from one position to another within that company because I was there as a part-time employee while being a full-time student. So I think being a student and like having that extra time really got me to the point where I could experiment with different positions. And it's not like my career was really dependent on those first few years because I'm still a student, I'm still getting my experience and my degree, while I have a little bit of the extra time, whatever little it was, just to try myself in different fields. Because I wasn't sure if I'm going to be good at programming, but I just knew that I needed to get myself in the field somewhere. Don't be shy reaching out outside of where you live. Right now, world is such a small thing and such a small world, and like everybody is really connected, and people travel everywhere, and companies need talent from all over the world. They need diversity. I was in Canada and I just was applying everywhere, and this job happened for me, and they even flew me over for the interview. So they paid for all the expenses. They were willing to pay for hotel so I could see if I liked this area. Everything was done online, and they were just willing to talk about visas and sponsorships. And I think it's because we're not just tied to one area anymore. But I wouldn't be there if I didn't already build so much experience. And having kind of graduated more or less recently before I got this job, it gave me a big advantage even after I graduated compared to all of my other classmates who didn't have anything or just had volunteer experience.